So we've had a parent come in, I want you to make my child grow. Sorry, excuse me, like that's not possible. No. No, please. Here's an extra $1,000. Make sure my kid grows taller. There's this notion of the government jobs are chill. They don't do much.
I'm not gonna lie.
Everybody's applying for it.
I'm not gonna lie, I think that too.
Like even like a lot of my staff, it will be coming around. All right, bro, let's have a work, lift it. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Dude, I work.
sure.
I don't.
Yeah.
don't work out.
I was like, I want nothing to do with this. I just work here. I just manage. I'm gonna go work out like somewhere else. I got a call. I'm like, hey, how can I help you? And they're just like, you know what? I don't like the music in your gym. And I was like, sir, how can I change the music in my gym? Like that's part of a gym culture, gym environment. No. If somebody wants to listen to music, they should put on headphones. And I was like, oh, okay.
This guy said, who would have thought? Wait, what? So, Fennel, why don't you tell me a little about yourself? You know, what you studied in school, what you currently do, and how that all came to be.
Okay, my career has been very different. So let me break it down for you. So in high school, I was taking exercise science, and I was like, man, everybody knows what they want to do. I was like, well, I don't know what I want to do in life. So I was taking an exercise science class, and I was like, you know what? I should be a kinesiologist. So I went to York for kin.
So you knew what kinesiology meant?
I had no idea, but everybody was going to university. I was
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Might as well try it. So I went because I wanted to fit in with everyone else. They said university is good for you, college is shit. So I'm like, okay, I get it, no worries. So I went to York, did 4 years there. I did an extra year actually, 5 years of kin. And then I was like, okay, so what do I do with this degree? Physio, chiro, I had no idea. So I worked at a gym, I managed a gym actually, and I was a trainer at the side. It was doing really well until COVID hit. And then everything went downhill. I was like, you know what do I do with my life? So then I was like, you know what, construction. So I went, yeah, random, right? I went from kin to construction. I went to construction for like 5 years. I was a project manager. I was building a lot of stuff. And at the same time, I'm like, you know what, this is not my calling. I miss training people. So I went back to the municipal job that I was doing with one of the cities. I was a trainer there. And I was doing that part-time until a role came along where they call it a programmer. You're essentially a manager overlooking a gym and different programming for the city. So I applied for it, and with my experience in construction management, gym management, I got the role. So for the last 6 months now, I've been doing that. And you know what? It's a great job. I love it.
So if we were to encompass all of your experiences, and it seems like you've had quite the journey, and obviously very, to be honest, out of the box experience. In terms of a numerical value, what would you say, your experience comes from? Like, did you have a lot of experience in personal training, and how many years is that? Would you include the things you learned in school as well? Would you also include that as well? And then also project planning, the atmosphere of going to construction. That's a completely different ballgame. Like, how did that all fit together for you? And what does that collective experience look like for you today?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's very different. Nobody could think like, you know what? You have kinesiology, managing a gym. I did that for about 2 years. I also personal trained about for 5+ years while I was in school. And then completely switching over to construction, which I was managing people. So it took me about 2 years to learn construction itself. Such a different field. And once I got comfortable, I got better at it, and I was like, you know what, I like it, but again, it's not it. So I did that for 4.5 years actually. And then I went back to managing. So I learned a lot of people management. Okay, how do people think? What do they want out of work? Like, how do they want to grow?
Well, what do people want?
It all depends, man. Everyone's different. Some people are looking for title changes. Some people, all they care about is money. Some people are motivated by, like, they just want a pat on their back. Like, hey, I'm doing a great job. So everybody has their different motives. So once you learn that, people management, I feel like it's a skill that takes time to learn. And through these different fields, I think I'm not perfected it, but I've gotten good at it. So I'm using all that experience into my current role, which I've been doing around, again, six months. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. So
I'm going to have to call your boss and find out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Just going back a few steps, obviously you mentioned you went to, you obviously took kin in university. We went to university together. I watched you spend hours on end studying for things that I could not even pronounce to say. I remember you even mentioning to me, even on some of these, like we were studying late at York, and you tell me, there's a guy in my class, he's going to be a doctor. Why is he in my class? And so the challenge, like there's obviously tons of challenges in there. So I'm going to go back and ask, obviously you followed the crowd here, right? And correct me if I'm wrong here. You follow everybody wanted to go to university, and that's totally fine. You weren't sure what you wanted, and so you felt like could be the most easiest way, not easiest way, but a path forward. But why pick kin over all other programs in medical?
I wish I could tell you, you know why? I was so passionate about something,
Yeah.
but I really wasn't. I wasn't
Yeah.
too sure what I wanted out of high school.
And that's facts.
And again, like the exercise science class, you know what? I'm like, yo, this guy's going into accounting. And this guy's going into pre-med. I was like, oh my God, everybody knows what they want. I got kind of scared. I was like, you know what? What do I like? I don't know. I like the gym. So then I was like, you know what? Exercise science, what is this? So I applied for York Kin, Ryerson, like randomest programs. And I got into York Kin. I was like, you know what? This is perfect. And that was my way in. Started doing courses I was familiar with, like biology, chemistry, and anatomy and stuff. I'm like, you know what, this is not too bad. Was it like a career choice that I wanted from day one? Not really, right? But then after the program was done, I was like, you know what, do I become a physio or a chiro? I'm like, I don't like either. So then that's when I went the training route and the management route of gyms.
So with that being said, when you first got to university, that first year, maybe the first 2 years, I thinking for myself, I changed 3 times my degree. I went from, I went from accounting to finance to now marketing. I took a bunch of courses that I can't even recall to this day. But the reason I'm bringing this up is that I had an idea of what I wanted out of university. Like I wanted to be a CA, and that was something that I really want. Now it's a CPA, but that was something that I really was passionate about when I got to university. Obviously, that's the last ship has sailed a long time ago. I'm never going to be a CPA, but when you joined that program, what was your aspirations? What was the job that made you enticed? Like, hey, this is something for me. Or you had no idea, and that's totally fine too.
It was no idea, but also like, there was a part of me where I'm like, I enjoy helping people. And at that time, I didn't know how I would do that. But after going through the program, and then when I remember it was third year, and York was on strike. It was during that time I went on Kijiji, typed in personal trainer, 3rd-year kid. I was cocky. I was like, I'm so smart, This lady reached out. She's like, I want training from you. I was like, oh my God, yeah, I got you. I'm amazing. She's like, I'll pay you $8 an hour. I was like, what? Like what? I was like, okay, like this is kind of shitty, but whatever. I want experience, right? So then I started training, and then I realized when I started training and the impact that it was causing, like people were like, wow, like we love talking to you, like we feel better. And at first it started as nothing, but once I realized like, helping people is like kind of like my calling in a sense, I was like, you know what, this is it. Like I think I can see myself doing this long term.
So you would say that York going on strike kind of opened the door for you to be personal training.
Pretty much, yeah.
So holla at your boy York. You helped your boy
York,
out. That's actually funny because I remember the strike back then. I think the joke one of our professors made back then was the picket lines, and so we had to go to class because we had like a in class session that was mandatory, and he's like, one of the students was like, I can't come, it's a picket line, and he's like, you're scared of old, measly professors that you're not gonna cross the picket line to come to my class? And I'm like, are you challenging me? I'll run through that thing.
Yeah.
But I remember it was a big deal back at York, and so it's crazy that was kind of your changing point for why you chose to be a personal
people
trainer.
usually hate the strikes, and you know what?
Mind you, I did hate it too, until that he made that joke, and then I was like, I'll show you.
Yeah, it was kind of like a blessing for me though somehow. I don't know, it worked out.
Yeah.
Kind of made me realize, you know what, I like helping people, so.
Well, obviously, fast forward, things have dramatically changed for you. You went on a little journey as well, but you currently do work for the city, and you work as more of like a fitness manager for the city. I think for most folks here, and I think most folks who are watching this have one question in mind. How the hell did you get into the city? Because that's something that everyone thinks about, including myself. I'm like, I apply, I think I'm experienced, I know people. Like, what is the thought? Is it they look for a certain particular questions? Is there certain particular things that you put in your resume? What makes it that you become more appealing than the average person to get accepted into the city?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I started at the city in 2015.
How did you get a job at the city in 2015?
So I just applied.
Just straight luck.
Literally applied, went online and put my resume, got the job, got the role, did the interview process, and then I was on a part-time basis for probably like a long time, up till 9 years until I got full-time.
Did you want full-time before that?
I did. Before I went into construction and COVID happened, my goal was to get full-time because as a manager, you're implementing a lot of changes in the group classes. You're directly impacting the community, which is something I wanted to do. But until COVID, I wasn't too sure, and that's why I had a change of heart because centers were shut down. That's why I had to go into construction because at the end of the day, you still have to make a living and live your life.
So you've It seems like that was, well, to be honest, like if full time with the city seems like something that's very challenging for a lot of folks to get into, and it seems like it's completely based off luck. Is that safe to assume, or is that?
It is because
stretch?
there's a lot of people that there's this notion of the government jobs are chill, they don't do much.
I'm not
So
gonna lie.
everybody's applying for it.
I'm not gonna lie, I think that too.
Yeah, so everybody does, right? So we do a lot of work, to be honest
Okay.
with you. We are day in, day out working hard to make sure all the services at the community centers are ran. We want to, at the end of the day, make all members that live or are coming to the gym, make sure they're comfortable and they're accommodated for, right? Like people want a different group class, for example, or they want different machine equipments and everything. So we have to do a lot of budgeting and make sure everything is good and flowing before we implement those changes. So as much as the public thinks that it's, chill, we do nothing all day. So we do a little bit of work.
A little bit of work, The reason why I'm sure a lot of people ask the same question because, like, I remember even we have quite a few friends of ours who are working for the city. I remember even trying to get into even for myself, and it was just like they wanted like Bill Gates at the door, and I'm like, dude, I have like 3 years experience. I'm trying over here.
I will say there are a lot of requirements, but I don't think it's any different than any other job that you're doing. When you apply for it, it goes through a process of like they screen your resume, make sure you meet the criteria, and it goes through a process of like recruitment, interviewing, and then the issue is there's only limited spaces. So again, like you're going through that process where there's only one position hiring,
Vacant space, yeah.
and then there's like 10 applicants that they actually interview. So in terms of like percentage-wise, it is difficult. But I don't think it's impossible because, hey, right here, got it in, right?
Well, that being said, you work for the city and you've obviously have a ton of experience that are a bit more shaped you into the person you are today. You've worked in construction, you were in project planning on that side of the business. You did personal training on that side before you even got into that. Considering the experiences you have right now, how does that really tie into the city, right? I guess more in particular, how did you being a personal trainer help some of your skill sets that you currently do at the gym?
Okay, that's a great question. I think for some reason, everything I've done in the past is really helping me be the best at my job. When I walk into the gym, the flow, I learned that from construction. I walk in, how are the equipment? Is it easily accessible?
What's the flow?
Flow meaning like when you walk into a room, is everything organized in a certain way? For example, the way the door opens, the way the switch is.
I would never think about that.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, but I learned that from construction. So having that knowledge, which you think is so random, it's really not. Because I apply that knowledge into the gym. So as soon as I go into this role, I'm trying to change the gym. I'm like, this is not a nice flow. And a lot of the members' feedback was, hey, you're doing a great job at changing things around. So, and then in terms of training, like my trainers, making sure that when they're training that they're not on their phones, they're not like doing random stuff that you see like Good Life or other trainers do, right? So I'm trying to, everything I've learned again in the construction and training and everything, implementing it into my space to make sure it's like perfect to the best of my ability.
So if I visit one of the city gyms right now, right, under your care, you're giving me the guarantee right now.
I'm working on it. I can't guarantee anything, but I'm working on it.
I just want to get a pulse check here. I just wanted to check in real quick,
Yeah.
Because, I'm sure you're doing a phenomenal job, but I'm not saying that at any means. But, I think, it's just the feedback you get from clients to speak more volumes than anything, right? I think that's the reassurance that anybody looks for their job, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring this up, and we're talking about the fitness industry as across the board, I think for a lot of folks who are looking outside inwards on what's, obviously the industry itself, is what do you do behind closed doors?
What do you mean?
Like, when the door closes, you're not at the gym anymore, you're not moving machines around. When you sit in the office in the city, what do your job responsibilities look like?
So my job is very different because I have to ensure all the classes are running smoothly. Even though I'm not there physically, somebody could have called in sick. So scheduling is the main part of it. I run a big center where there's a lot of members coming in and out. So they expect group classes to be perfect. So if a group instructor is calling in sick, I have to ensure they're being covered. Because, for example, a yoga instructor calls in sick. 7 p.m. people love their yoga. I have to find one right away to cover that class, just to make sure the members are happy, right? So there's a lot of work behind the scenes. Also, scheduling is just one part of it. Like budgeting, making sure we have budgets. It's not like free for all. Just because we're the city doesn't mean we have millions of dollars. Like do whatever you want. No, unfortunately.
Oh my God, my taxpayer money.
Yeah, right. So I'm told here's your 10,000 for the year.
Yeah.
I have to cover everything within that 10,000, right? So it may seem again, city workers, that it's very simple, but there's a lot of back end to it. All the programming that's put inside the computer for you to go online and just view. So like, it's a lot of administration work.
Do you feel like you like that more, or do you like more of the personal training side of things?
I do like the more human interaction, to be honest, but every job has its ups and downs.
Give or take?
Pretty much, yeah.
Would you, given that you work in the city, you just mentioned emergency, and it seems like scheduling seems to be a focal point of that pain point. But I'm just out of curiosity, you've been there for 6 months, but however, you've been there part-time years before.
Correct.
What is the funniest emergency you had to deal with so far?
Funniest emergency?
Or craziest?
I've no. So unfortunately, it is a recreation center, so you do deal with a lot of like first aid situations where like somebody, it's not funny, but like, you know, somebody could have like a heart attack and you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Ambulance, a
I'd
lot
be
of
stressing.
that.
I'd be stressing.
Yeah, you know, it's very stressful.
goddamn.
Yeah, because like you get a phone call, hey,
Someone's dying.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta
bruh.
run, do the CPR. Like I've done it twice actually.
Oh my Lord,
yeah,
dude.
it's very
I'm like, I'm
traumatizing.
gonna go home, man. We're done.
It's traumatizing for sure. But the funniest, I wouldn't say anything's really funny, to be honest.
Oh,
It's like a more serious.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You said someone dying. I'm like, yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if funny is any of those questions.
Unfortunately.
What was something that was like out of the box, like besides someone, you know, obviously having a heart attack?
Yeah.
It's dark.
Out of the box. People feel, I don't know, out of the box. It's like,
Actually, you know, I'm gonna give you even funnier. How many times do people actually come to the gym and be like, I don't have my tag, and walk in?
oh, zero. So, you know what? That's zero. No, we don't allow that. So as soon as you try that, like, we have somebody at the scan desk making sure like your picture's there, you're good to go. Like I get it happens more at different gyms that I worked at for sure.
Yeah.
But city's pretty good with that.
I'm
Like,
not gonna lie. The reason I bring this up is as a kid,
yeah.
I was that guy. I was that guy.
I used to just scan his watch.
I was just running up like, you can't stop me.
If they are busy, there are chances that you can just slide by.
I was like 14. I mean, he's like, I'm like, all right, we're good.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't arrest me. I was just kidding. Cool. Well, what is the biggest, since you work in the fitness industry, you've been around fitness, you know, influencers, you work in the gym setting, you essentially plan the gym setting for the city. What is the biggest misconception when it comes to fitness in general?
Misconception.
I'm going to say it's the fact that everyone takes steroids, but that's just my hot take.
Yeah, honestly, the guys that you see on social media that are jacked, that's not the case. Like, it's very difficult to gain that body. Like, it's all the lighting, it's all the filters, it's everything. Yeah, it's not as easy as you think. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of dieting. For example, 80% is all diet, in my opinion. Right?
So the piece that just ate right now isn't doing me justice.
Yeah, so anytime you're on social media and you're scrolling and you see those like buff guys, you're like, wow, or that girl, you're like, wow. Trust me, like think about it. It's not as easy as you think it is. That's what I would, yeah.
So it's the good assumption that a good, solid, sizable portion of the population, yeah?
I would say 95%
Oh my
of what
God,
you
that's a
see
big statement, man.
on social media, what you see is fake.
Yeah.
In person, like the guys that you see that are shredded,
Yeah.
they're not all on steroids, but maybe some are. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
like,
most guys you see in person, they're not flexed, they're not pumped. They don't like.
they look like regular.
They look like
Joes,
they go to the gym for sure, but they don't. They're not like completely oozing out of their shirts.
Yeah.
And you go on social media, they look like goddamn like they're built in a lab.
It's all.
And then I go home. I look at myself. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm doomed.
You feel like you can never achieve that, right?
What the hell, bro? I might as well just starve myself for 15 days straight to lose some fat.
Yeah, seriously.
Not really, but you know. And what's, you know, in terms of since you work in the city, in the gym setting in the city, and you have, you know, gym bros in there, you have influencers in there, you have colleagues who might be gym bros themselves. What is the biggest gym bro moment you've had to deal with?
Oh man.
Was it like, yo, bro, you know me, man? I hit the waist later. Like, what's the biggest?
For me, oh man, there's a lot of gym bro moments. Like, hey man, like we gotta lift in after. I'm like, okay, like I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. Like even like a lot of my staff, it'll be coming around. All right, bro, let's have a lift, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Dude, I work.
Sure.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't work out.
I was like, I want nothing to do with this. I just work here. I just manage. I'm gonna go work out like somewhere else, you know.
Away from here and everybody else here.
Yeah, I know. You want to keep your distance. For
Well,
sure.
what's the funniest moment?
Funniest one, man. There's so many. Like, I feel like in a gym setting where it's a municipal government, it's very different than your regular gym setting because you're attracting a lot of like senior members or you're attracting a lot of different crowd. It's not necessarily the gym goers that are like jacked. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's so funny, but they're like, it's the entitlement. Like sometimes they're very entitled. It's like, oh, I pay your tax. Just like what you said earlier.
I pay your taxes.
I'll
pay your
I
taxes.
want this. I want that. And I feel like, I just want to say like, hey man, like at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're trying our best.
I just working.
Yeah, literally. Oh, the funniest story. I had a person the other day. They came to me. I got a call. I'm like, hey, how can I help you? And they're just like, you know what? I don't like the music in your gym. And I was like, sir, how can I change the music in my gym? Like that's part of a gym culture, gym environment. No. If somebody wants to listen to music, they should put on headphones. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm sorry, like unfortunately we can't turn the music off because it attracts, like most of the members need music.
It's for the general public, yeah.
We had a whole argument for 20
my
minutes.
God.
He just didn't understand. He's like, no, I want that. He's like, I'm gonna go hire management, I'm gonna go hire. I'm like, okay, sir, do what you need to. Unfortunately, we need music in a gym setting. Have you ever been to a gym without music?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't pay
anybody
attention
has.
because I'm wearing headphones most of the time, but.
Literally, yeah. So it was just something that, like, so you get odd requests like those where it's like, turn off the music or do this or do that. And you're just like, oh, okay, this is very funny, but you know.
I'm not gonna lie, if I was in your position, I'd be like, yo, toss me $5.
That's
We're good. We're good. You can play Christmas carols. I'll give it down.
yeah, seriously, right?
Just leave me alone. No, I wouldn't do that. I'd probably get fired. That's why I don't work in the city. And since you obviously have, a lot of fitness background, it's kind of been the sauce, if you will, and you went to school for it. You're working in the gym sitting right now. What is your biggest fitness philosophy for anybody listening right now? What's your biggest fitness philosophy you tell people to get across?
For me, fitness is it's one day at a time. I feel like anybody that's trying to start their like fitness journey or fitness anything, they're always looking at the end result, saying, "Oh, it's going to take me 3 months or 6 months to get there, whatever it is." And I mean, yes, I understand that, but like a lot of the times you fall off. The reasoning for the fitness is wrong. It's not like, hey, just let's take it a day at a time and do it for the health, do it for my body, and just keep going, keep adding on 1% better a day. Kind of, it helps out a lot more. Even me, I'm guilty of it. Where I'm like, you know what? 90 days, I'm gonna get jacked again. And it fails after day 10. Let me tell you, yeah, right? Like it doesn't last. So I think that's the biggest thing that. Not more so philosophy, but that's my takeaway, right?
No, I think it is a philosophy to follow, right? It's never about. I think we always chase results as humans, right? We always go after what the end result is, and
we don't enjoy the journey.
We don't enjoy the journey, right? And the journey of most people, when you see the actual, not on steroids, the actual people who put in the work, it's the nights of going out and not eating. When everybody else is eating pizza.
Exactly.
It's the nights of...
It's a discipline.
It's a discipline that comes alongside with it. And motivation only goes for so long until discipline takes into effect.
Yep.
And I think your philosophy is a very good sort of paint a picture of that is take it one day at a time, right? You got to be able to build those habits. And so, no, I definitely agree. Just something I can't follow myself.
We try.
I'm trying. I swear to God, I'm trying. I'm just not really good at it. All right, dude, let's talk about the podcast we're supposed to shoot that we never did.
Oh.
One thing I wanted to talk about was past adventures, if you will.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Past adventures, I feel like me and you have gone on some adventures.
We have.
What
was it called?
The Small Guys.
Small Guys.
Yeah, the small. For those who don't know, it's okay. The videos are completely deleted. You can't find them ever again.
It was our YouTube flex that we did for a bit. You know what? We made a viral video. I don't know if you remember.
We did?
We did. It hit one of the pages. It was like 55,000 views, and we're like, whoa.
Oh, damn.
This is back in 2018.
Oh, wow.
It was big back then.
Oh, shit. I didn't remember.
Yeah, and then we just kind of fell off.
I don't remember anything happening after that. I blame work.
Work, yeah.
I don't really have an answer. I'm just going to look away. Hopefully that goes away. We've had tons of adventures together, if you will, right? We went to school together, went to the same high school together. We went to the same university. We started our own little...
I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, that's
wow.
Damn. It's a long time.
How many years?
It's 18 years, I think, at this point.
A lot of years, yeah.
God damn. 18 years.
And we're still talking.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Good. I know. I have to get a refund somewhere. Just kidding.
Remember we used to go to the gym?
Yeah.
We used to work out.
Oh, my God.
We used to walk, get a Pizza Depot pizza, slushy from Shells,
and then walk all the way home.
Everything we did in the gym, we just ate it back.
And we would act like that was the best workout ever.
Yeah, we're like, well, we killed it. Like we sprinted really hard that day.
We would eat medium pizzas to ourselves.
It was amazing, though.
Oh, my God, it was a good day.
Well, what 15-year-old nowadays is doing that?
No,
Actually, they all are.
They do steroids now.
Back in our day, like...
No.
Right?
Back then, we were still kids. I think that's a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I think now kids are just kids. I mean, we were kids.
Yeah.
Now kids aren't kids anymore.
Kids are not kids.
No,
Yeah, they're very
no.
attached to their socials and
their
they're not going out and
perception,
about.
No,
we used to go on bike rides for hours.
For doing nothing.
Yeah, for doing
oh
nothing,
my
yeah.
God. The good days. I'm still laughing about the Pizza Depot thing because we'd work out for like an hour and a half. And we'd be like, yeah. And then leave, go directly next door, get Pizza Depot, get a medium pizza. Not split. Like you get a medium, I get a medium. We finished that and then we're like, oh, I'm thirsty because we ate so much goddamn sodium. And then we go next door to the gas station. And eat more. We could get a giant slushy and then walk all the way home.
So much sugar, so much carbs. It was amazing.
And I was still skinny. I was still skinny.
That was also a city gym.
That was City Gym.
So it's like a full circle.
Wow, full circle
like
for you.
Yeah,
not for me. I've ran away. I've full out run away.
Far away.
Yeah. No. What do you think was what do you think has changed so much since then to now in terms of like just overall perception of the gym? Because when we went to the gym, we wanted to be. I don't think social media was as prevalent. Instagram didn't exist back then. We had Facebook, and it wasn't really much like a. You didn't really flex on anybody or gloat. It was just more so a way of making friends and staying in contact.
I think we went to the gym before it was a thing. Now it's like a trend, or now it's like a fad. Like everybody wants to do it. You want to look jacked for social media. You want to impress, whatever it is. We just did it because, I don't know, we just did it. We're like, yo, let's go to the gym.
I wanted to be jacked.
We wanted to be jacked, but we were following the right things. I don't know. But whatever, we were doing something, right?
Yeah.
Now I feel like people in high school or younger, like they're constantly on social media. They're constantly being brainwashed in a sense to say like, hey, like body dysmorphia, like your body's not good enough.
Yeah.
So I feel like fitness is on a trend as a result of that as well. You're not happy with yourself. So you feel like, you got to do a lot more and you constantly have to go to the gym. Because I see like, it's kind of scary, like 17-year-olds lifting like a ridiculous amount of weight.
And they feel good about it. They're like, oh, this is great. The amount of, you're young and not feeling the impact of what you're doing to your body
exactly,
at this point.
Yeah.
And when you get to like, I'm going to say my age, but.
We're young. We're 21, 20, yeah.
I'll take that as a so I'll take that.
Yeah, I know, but for sure, like I feel like generation now is very different than how we grew up. They're very like driven off social media, and I'm not blaming them or anything.
Do you see that at the gym itself?
I see that. I see a lot of people coming in younger and younger. In fact, this is actually very scary. We have a lot of people coming in lying about their age. So they're actually like 11 or 12, but but they look older. They look like 14, 15.
Jesus.
You can't tell anymore.
Yeah.
And then once you're in the gym, and a funny story actually, just the other week, one of my trainers, they reached out to me. They didn't feel comfortable because they're saying one of the kids that joined the gym, he's like, I'm only 12. I lied on my, I showed a fake ID. I got into the gym, right? And to me, that's just like, wow.
12 was like grade 7.
Sorry? Yeah, you're young. So people are doing a lot just to get into the gym, just to fit that, I don't know, physique, whatever that is.
The image. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's full moon because we've had our own adventures, obviously throughout, our.
We started a little bit later, the 14, 15.
We were grade 10, grade 11.
That's
we were 15, 16.
15, yeah.
Minimum
that's the right
16,
age,
I think, at that point. Yeah, we weren't.
Yeah.
We didn't like. I didn't like throw weights over my head, and I was like, oh, I was trying my best. But now going full circle for you, and what's some advice you would give to kids now? Because we were in that spot eventually, or we were in that spot as kids before, and now you're seeing the same kids, if not younger than us, than when we were. What's some advice you would give them?
I think the biggest takeaway I see is when you're
call their parents.
Yeah, pretty much. No, but it's like what you're looking at on social media, just be careful. It's not always accurate, right? So sometimes we're looking at things where you're like, what, the 16-year-old is this jacked? Doesn't mean it's necessarily true. They could be a different age. There's a lot of factors into it. So, and then sometimes what's happening is kids are coming, they're working out really hard, they're not seeing the results that they want.
Steroids.
So they might go on different things. It's like, why am I not seeing results? Because for your age group, you're not supposed to be looking a certain way, right? So I think that's a challenge, but I think as long as you educate yourself and understand where you're supposed to be at certain age groups, I think that's going to help them progress, essentially. And a lot of times the parents are also misled. So we've had a parent come in, I want you to make my child grow. Sorry, excuse me, like that's not possible. No. No, please. Here's an extra $1,000. Make sure my kid grows taller. I was like, what is happening here? And this is a real story.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe my eyes. I'm like, man, there's no way I can make your kid grow. I don't care, get him to jump. I was like, oh, okay.
You make him jump off.
Yeah, okay, like, not a problem. If you want me to take your money and lie to you, I can do that, not a problem. Give me your $1,000 here, like 5 sessions. Like, what do you want, right? So again, like parents also have to be attentive to what they're observing on social media before they come in and having unrealistic expectations of their child.
Do you think that this is more to do with social media than it has to do with themselves?
I think there's both factors. Social media will constantly influence you because when you're on social media constantly looking, you're like, oh my God, I don't feel good.
You feel terrible.
Your self-efficacy is like, like, oh my God, your self-worth is like, what the hell? Like,
deteriorating, you're sad.
And then on top of that, you have your parents or your surroundings also influencing you. So every factor is making you feel like you're not good enough. When in fact, you're perfectly fine.
Exactly where you need to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's a really good advice. Like, you're exactly where you need to be.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the scariest part for a lot of kids, for young boys and girls. I think the challenge here is that a lot of them just look to social media for validation.
Yeah.
And if they don't fit that criteria of image of what social media is portraying, they immediately feel terrible.
Yeah.
And they'll do any means necessary to get to that image. And I think that's the challenge that I feel most people in the gym have. You know, I think, you know, I've been someone, I'm not the most, you know, fit person in the world. I try to keep myself healthy as much as possible. You know, I could run. I just don't ask me to run a half marathon.
You're doing good.
I'm sorry. I think, you know, if we look at the younger generation, I think definitely, you know, social media has played a negative role in that sense. I'm sure there's tons of benefits that we can definitely tie it to, and I can go in hours about what that benefits are. But I think when it comes to fitness, I definitely do think that there's been more education now, which is great. There's more available information. People have a lot more access to resources than they've never had before. But it comes to the dark side, and that dark side is people that get impacted that don't come up on the scoreboard, which is most likely kids.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you've probably seen this directly handed in the gym.
100%. I see it all the time, and it's just like this gym pro kind of thing where kids are coming in from high school, and instead of like being able to lift a little bit, they want to
hard. Yeah.
They're gonna put on 45 pounds, 135 pounds, try to lift, possibly injure themselves. I don't know. Like there's so many possibilities. Or I see also gym being more social aspects. So like everybody's coming in, guys, girls. It's more like a way of picking somebody up. It's not so for improving your body. So like, I feel like the industry itself is changing over years and years. But I feel like if people just went and used, for example, even ChatGPT, like looked at what diets they could follow, what exercise for the age group they can follow, they can use that. We have a lot of resources now. You can use all that information and just try to follow it, and I feel like they would really benefit from it, right?
Yeah, no, I use ChatGPT for 99% of my. I don't know.
Hey, me too.
I have a PhD in online learning with ChatGPT.
There's nothing wrong in it, right?
People like, you don't use ChatGPT like that. I'm like, you think I ask stupid questions?
Everybody.
I have like bullet points. I have like subject lines. I have one that's called therapy, and I have to put a password on that just to make sure no one ever sees what I put down to ChatGPT. ChatGPT, I mean, we go way back. It's probably taught me more about school than school's taught me about anything else, to be honest.
I agree. It's amazing. It gives you a little summary. I love it.
Oh, it was great. Well, what are the prompts say again? What?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well, as we're coming close to wrap this up, I have 3 questions for you. One is more so directed towards me, but one for you and 2 for yourself that I'd love for you to answer. So you have a lot of experience in the fitness industry. You've obviously been a trainer. You had a very short stint in construction. Now you work for the city in a role that impacts almost everybody, every single member that comes to that gym. What is one piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
Great question. I think my younger self was always like in anticipation of like what's next. What I've learned being in my career and learning everything I've learned so far, I'm still pretty young, but you know what I've learned is you know, things will take its course. Like you can't force anything. Right in the gym industry, I see a lot of changes over the years as well. So, and for myself itself, it's like I'm learning. Like as I'm going through different careers and different industries, I'm learning a lot about myself. Learning how I can kind of grow and how everything I learn in different areas, how I can implement into my current role and as a fitness manager per se, right? Yeah, does that answer the question or?
Kind of.
Can you rephrase it again?
No, I'll say this as an answer. And the second question I have is, you know, do you have any advice for anybody who's trying to get into the fitness industry? Like whether it's a trainer, whether it's working at the you know, maybe it's like yourself, maybe working as more of a fitness manager, managing the facilities themselves. Maybe it's a life coach. Like what do you think a person needs to have to be able to pursue a passion like that?
Perfect. So this question I always comes to my mind because every time I go to a gym, I see trainers on their phones and like they themselves are jacked. Okay, like I 100% agree that you know what, whatever you've done has worked for you, diet, exercise, but it's not the same for the person you're training. It's not the same for the mass. Everybody's different. And the biggest problem I have with the fitness industry is trainers that are jacked and are like look a certain way. The mass public thinks they are ideal. They're the trainers that they need to get into their best shape of their lives. That's not true. That's the biggest myth, in my opinion. A trainer that could look normal, like, right? They have the knowledge.
What about fat? I have to say, I'm sure people are thinking as
but like fat for me, like what is fat? Like some people are happy with their body type.
Yeah, and right? I agree with that. There's nothing wrong with being fat. I'm an ex-fat person. I hear that.
Yeah.
But as a trainer, do you think it's a challenge when you
100%, because I've done consultations as well where people have said, like, I'm not in no shape, like I think I'm okay, decent, right? But people have actually said to me, hey, like you're not a trainer. You don't look like a trainer. You're not jacked.
That's crazy.
You're not this. And I've had people say this to me, but it's your knowledge that counts at the end of the day, right? What I'm able to do for you. So I've had clients actually, which I've trained, that have lost 60 pounds, and they looked at me like, wow, you're like the best thing that's happened to me. Because the person before you, yes, they were jacked, whatever, but they were on their phone the entire time. They didn't know what they were doing for me.
Disengaged, don't care.
Yeah, they just don't care.
They don't care about your journey, which is probably the biggest part, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very big. And you see this common. It's very, so if somebody's paying a lot of money for your time, give them that attention. And this is one thing I learned in this fitness industry that bothers me till date, and people don't fix it. It's like, I'm paying for your time, I'm paying good $70, $75, $100 an hour. That's a lot of money, right? And why are you on your phone? Just give me that one-on-one time that I need, help me get to my goal, because me getting training is a cry for help, essentially. I'm going to spend all this money, right?
I'm gonna have to pin that.
Yeah, just like help me get in the best shape of my life. Like if you're not passionate about what you do, why are you doing it? Right, and that's just, I don't know, that's how I feel, and I've always felt about it.
I just dropped bars all of a sudden now. Jesus Christ, dude, damn. Show the goddamn Shakespeare.
You know, I learned a thing or two.
Well, Fennel, I appreciate you taking the time and coming here to spend some time with your best friend. And with that being said, I will see you guys next week.